Welcome to Duke's United show. And it's been a little while, hasn't it, Garf? It's been a while, but it's been around for a
Been
reason.
a hot minute.
It's been a while because there's been no signings. No signings. We're waiting for the signings to take place before we come here and have a chat with you guys. And oh my gosh, we have got Onana through the door. We have got Johnny Evans through the door. We're about to get Højlund through the door. And we've got Mason Mount, as we already know. Garth, how excited are you about these transfers?
Yeah, well, I mean, we did a bit on Mount. You know how excited I am about Mount. Onana, I am excited, but tampering that expectation because he's Bartes reincarnated. Great goalkeeper, but be prepared for 2 or 3 high-profile errors a season, like high-profile. Tries to take a man on, tries to drop a shoulder, gets tackled, they score. It's not a problem, you know what I mean? I was very dubious about him. Like anyone in the group, our group would know that I'm very dubious about him. I didn't think we'd sign him at all, considering everything that he went through with Ten Hag and everything. In fact, I was adamant he wouldn't. But Ten Hag wants him, and I've got to trust Ten Hag. That's what I keep saying. I've got to trust Ten Hag. He knows the keeper. Yeah. And as I said on the Transfer Exchange show on Monday, as much as I love David De Gea, it was time. Like, we were both defending him all of last season up until right at the end, weren't we? And then it was like, do you know what? He can't. He cannot play from the back, and we have to have I'll take the lesser shot-stopping ability for someone who can make attacks happen from the box. So, although Onana wouldn't be my first choice of goalkeeper, I am excited because hopefully the system will really work for him and the couple of mistakes he makes won't make. Because this is what people forget about Ederson. Ederson does make a couple of high-profile errors every season. Yeah,
even Courtois making mistakes. They all made mistakes, even against Liverpool. Get both play. Liverpool's Alisson and Courtois both conceded the first 2 goals. Were both from their stupid mistakes. Ederson's not been great with his hands for a long time. But what I will tell you is there is no keeper better than Onana with his feet. There ain't no keeper better. I've not seen anyone with left foot, right foot, and kicking the ball the way he does. Driven ball, dink balls in. He's sick. Like, he's proper sick. Like, when it comes to passing. But you're right. There will be high-profile errors. But if you think about it, how many high-profile errors did Thingy do this year? Like, De Gea done so many this year, and they were so bad. I don't mind if. I will mind, obviously, to be fair. It still will hurt, but at the same time, we'll still be able to play football. Like, while we're in possession of the ball, we'll actually be able to play football and not concede too many stupid goals. That's what's making me really, really excited about the Onana coming in. And just watching him in the final, it showed that City were trying to press him, and he just wasn't phased. He was waiting for them to come onto him. And that just gives us more space up the field. And remember, we've now got Martinez back. So he's another player who's press resistant. Sure, press resistant. And then we're going to see more legs from Mount. You're going to see Casemiro. You're going to see another team here. I mean, United are going to be another level from what they were last year. I'm quite sure of that.
Yeah. On to Højlund. Unless we sell, we're not getting him, I don't think, because they want 75 for him, don't they? So I think the next thing, they want 75 minimum for him. So I think 90 million euros they want for him. So 75 English, something like that. I think we can probably get that down. You're probably talking in the end 65 mil, something like that. You know what I mean? 60 to 65 mil. But he's a hot prospect striker. The only issue I have with him is prospect is the word there, Nate, you know what I mean? He looks good, but he has not done it at the highest level at all yet. Only bagged 9 goals last year for Atalanta. So it's a bit of a gamble. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Finish what you're saying. Go on.
No, that was what I was saying. It's just, if we're spending that sort of money, just go for Harry Kane, sure. I know Daniel Levy's saying he won't sell, but who was it that said, it was an ex-Spurs player said Daniel Levy will sell his own grandmother for the right price. So, I forget who it was. It was a Spurs player that said that. You know what I mean?
You know what? Here's the thing, like, you're looking at Højlund. Like, if I had a chance of Højlund, if I'm going to get Højlund for that amount, I'm going to go for Ollie Watkins. I'd rather go for Ollie Watkins and get him for 50, 60 mil. Like, I know what I'm getting. I know he will fit our system, and that will do the job for us. And you know what? Looking at the whole thing, let's say Ollie Watkins stays where he is because Villa are doing all right. They've got some shrewd signings. They're looking to improve on last year. But United can do one other thing that I'm very optimistic about. No one else may agree with me. I don't care. But if we get João Felix on loan instead of buying someone, I think he will be a great fit for us as a fluid player along that front three. He's not your out and out goal scorer. He's not exactly what we're after, but there is no getting Harry Kane. And he's the only out and out goal scorer that I can lay my hat on and say he's going to get me 25 to 30 goals in a season. João Felix will open up doors that others can't open up. He may not score as many, but we may see some out of the box football where he will do things and he'll spin people and he'll do little things to open up cracks in defenses. And I'm telling you, he will be able to fit right into that that front three, whether it's on the right, the left, or the middle. It gives us fluidity. The same way we use Rashford, it can be him as well, added into that three and in the mix. I'd love to see him in. I don't care what anyone says. I'd love to see that kind of player in our side.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Oh, we've got Curlers is back. Long time Curlers.
What's he saying?
We're both trying to do once. Let you take it away.
Afternoon, guys. We are doing okay so far in this window, but need a lot more signings. Also want to see the Deadwood going and this window. Also, not just loans. Yeah, you're right. Mate, you're totally right.
Say any better, Curlers.
In terms of players, you know what, Garf? I'm actually quite happy that we've got Evans back. Even though he's 35, I'd have a 35-year-old Evans over a prime Maguire any day of the week. I really like what Evans is all about. He's older now. He's not as fast, but him not as fast now is probably the same as Maguire now anyway. So it doesn't make too much difference. So I really think footballer-wise, on the ball-wise, press resistance-wise, left foot, right foot, delivery into front men. Hey, Evans has got that in the locker with his eyes closed. So I hope to see him as part of our backup.
No, yeah, back on Felix just quick though, yeah. My problem with Felix has always been he ain't a striker. You've said that. And as you were saying it, I've just had a thought in my brain that maybe we don't need an out striker when you've got Anthony on one wing, Rashford on the other, Felix drops deep, them two come in and form the strike partnership. So it ain't just a goalkeeper. It's that 30 mil for a loan, Nate. 30 mil for a loan, mate.
I don't even care. What can you do? What can you do now? Would you pay 30 million for a loan and then view to buy if he does well? Obviously, it might even be on a free from next year. So you're paying 30 million. If he does well, you've got a steal now. He's very young. You can last the next 7-8 years. Or you go and pay 70 mil for Højlund and you don't know anything about him. I don't know.
If they were the only two options, then I'd semi-agree, but still probably not. But this has always been the problem for me with Felix. It's that financials. But that's a different thing. I'm not saying he wouldn't work in his team. He ain't a goal scorer, so you take that out of the book immediately. He is not back, like you've already said. He ain't bagging them goal scorers. But again, like you said, who's out there that does bag 25, 30 goals a season? So I'm torn on the Felix one, especially at that price. I think I'd rather go and find a young striker somewhere and maybe give him the chance. But still, it's a different conversation. Johnny Evans, yeah, some people are acting like it's the most ridiculous thing of all time. I think it's a great. He's only 35. He's still got. It's not. Thiago Silva's still doing it at like 410. So, you know what I mean. I think it's solid. I know a lot of people are like, "What's the point?" We might be getting rid of Maguire and Bailly. That leaves 3 centre backs in our team. Maguire is a fourth choice. Sorry, Evans is a fourth choice. It's perfect, and you've already given everything. Left foot, right foot. I think he's decent, bro. To be quite honest with you, great freebie. So I definitely, if he does well in these 2 friendlies and impresses Ten Hag, I don't see any reason not to snap him up as a backup. You know what I mean? People forget we've had Tom Huddlestone for the last 2 years in our team. People forget that he's been playing with the under 21s, being a coach. I don't see any problem with it, to be fair. So
Carlos is saying a bit more. He says, hoping we will get good news on this sale. The dreaded thought they stay haunting me. It really is. We are still on a Glazer budget, so we have to shop smart for a striker. So if it's decent loan to buy options, then so be it. That's what I was just about to say, Garf. It doesn't mean you can't go and get that striker as well. Because if you're getting a loan, you're not spending massive money on the loan money. So you can go, all right, let me go get a young player who I think might do the job. But at the same time, I want someone else as well. Let me loan Felix. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I just don't know who that young striker is. I can't think of anyone who's out there. So they have to do something out the box.
That's my point. Like, it's a 20 to 25 million loan fee up front. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's 30 to 35 mil total
what did
with his
Chelsea
wages.
do last year? What
10
did Chelsea
mil,
do
like
last year?
10 mil fee, and I think it cost them in the end 15 overall with his wages.
So
They
they're
paid
going to
10
do
mil.
more. They're going to ask for more than last year.
Yeah, because that was only half a season, mate. That was a 4-month loan. I thought this is exactly because what Atletico Madrid want is they know that Felix Price is nowhere near 100 mil at the moment because he hasn't done well.
Yeah.
So what I read is what they want to do is loan him out because I think he's actually got 3 years on his contract still. Loan him out so he does very well, and then when they bring him back, they can be like, now we can sell him for 100 mil again because look, he scored 30 goals for Man United last year. This is what I mean. There's no win for Felix for us at the moment, apart from he does well for us this season. I know you like it. He's a good player. He really is. But again, we're off that. But we're spending the last of our budget getting him at the moment. We don't sell anyone.
You know what? Though? You know when I look at Felix, I'm just going to mention. Obviously, I don't look at stats for everything. I look at like how you fit into a side and how you're going to fit our way of playing. And when I watch him, he's a player who does something off the cuff. He's got good pace, great technique. So there's no reason why he can't score that amount of goals. He hasn't done it. No, that's fine. But there's no reason why he can't if he gets given them balls on a plate in the areas where he needs to get them. Chelsea didn't give him that. They don't give him football like that. Nor did Atletico. But when he was in Benfica, he was scoring more regularly at them points. But it was a long time ago. I do understand that. But my point is, just like what it's happened so many times in my life, when I've looked at a player and gone, oh my days, if he was in that side, he'd be sick. And it's just happened and comes. I just feel that. I just feel something that I can't even prove right now. I'm just telling you, I feel this thing about Felix. If he came on alone, I'd be buzzing. Like, there's no one else. Only Harry Kane I'd be more buzzing for at the moment from people who are actually looking like they can come. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say on that one. So.
I've completely softened my stance with it, Nathan, because the more I think about it, the more it is, there's no one else out there. If we can get him on a good loan deal with a good option to buy at the end of it, an actual 55, 60 mil fee at the end of it, you're actually right, mate. You know what I mean? There's a good chance we can, there's a good chance that he could work for us. He really could, I suppose.
I tell you one thing, if Newcastle take him, I think they've probably gone a little bit clear of us. I think that that may happen if they took him and they added that to their side. I'm worried. I'm worried that
are they looking at him then? Is that one of the things looking at him?
Well, I heard something before that they were looking at him. I'm not sure if it's true, but it was early on, like when the season just finished, and I was thinking, no, please don't try and get it. Please, no, like don't do it. But the fact that United already inquired for him and wanted to do the deal last year, maybe. It will happen because we can't buy someone. So that's that. Mawani is being looked at if we don't land. And again, I don't know who Mawani is.
What is it, Colo something? Like, he's in Germany, I believe. Like, I don't know much about him. It has to be said, Mawani. I really don't. But there's a lot of hype around him. There is a lot of hype around him. So, but I can't really. Randall Colo Mawani, decent player from what I understand. French. Not bad at all. I've always had him down as more of like he ain't this style of player, but like the position that Henry and Del Piero used to play. You know what I mean? Like left forward, not through the centre, which is more what we want. But I could be very wrong on that. But again, goal scoring record, not spectacular. I'd look at him before I looked at the loan of Felix, though, definitely. And I just don't. I think Højlund is just out. Like, I'd have Marnie over Højlund. As much as I like the look of this Højlund, it's pure prospect. Like, and we don't need.
He looks all right. He looks all right. He looks like he could do a job if he gets given the ball in the right areas. He could. He looks like he's got capabilities to be able to do something. He does, but you just never know.
He's built for the Premier League physically as well. 6'3", like he's a proper striker. You know what I mean? Quick, like he's a proper striker. So I'm not going to say it, but yeah, unless we sell some players, that one's out of the question. Steve on the Transfer Exchange Show pulled out a great point. What would you think if Man United were to sign Ivan Toney right now? Because apparently, like 35 mil could get him. Obviously, he can't play until January.
Listen. What I told you before, I'd rather Ollie Watkins over.
You still
Ivan
rather
Toney.
Watkins? Yeah, fair play. Fair play.
I don't care how he's done well for his team, but some players they do well in a certain environment, and he's in a team where there's no pressure on him. He's in a perfect environment where the team plays perfectly, basically towards the way he plays.
Yeah.
And other teams, remember this, other teams play against Brentford on the all-out attack. Yeah, so he's getting space that he would not get if he's playing for Man United and a big team. The teams come and sit back and give you no space because they're scared of you. And then that's the difference. Where remember when everyone was talking about Vardy and they're saying Vardy is amazing because he runs in behind all the time. Same thing happened with Lukaku. He was playing at the lower team and he was bagging goals because the bigger teams were coming to Everton and coming to West Brom, just going at him, leaving loads of space behind. So then he's got the space to run in behind and get all these goals. The minute he comes to United, things get tight and you're expecting him to get all these goals and he can't do anything when it's real tight. So the same thing can happen with Ivan Toney. This is what I'm saying to you, like, be careful for just looking at a player and going, oh, he scores goals, let's get him. Oh, I definitely want, he's great. But when you look at him, what do you look at in Ivan Toney and go, oh my days, sick? Like, what is this standout thing?
Well, I think he's better than Ollie Watkins personally, all-round game. Standout. I mean, I'm not. No, if you're the striker, mate, this is why I'm like, don't argue with the actual goal scorer here when he's telling me that Watkins is better than Toney. But Toney for me is like, I can't give you anything. I know what you're trying to say. There's nothing I can give to you that is outstanding with him. But all round, I think he's a purpose-built Premier League striker, and I honestly think he's got 25 goals a season in the Premier League at a big club. I do think that.
Do you see? If you go look at his highlights of all his goals, and show me how many high technical goals he scores, like high difficulty goals he gets, or it's just the standard tap-in, sliding the ball in, whatever. But you know what I'm talking about. When you look at Aguero and you're playing against United and it's all tight, and then something out of nothing, bang! Oh my days, what a goal that was! Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Because you need them kind of goals. Getting the bread and butter goals. Lukaku did that for us. It wasn't that was the problem. He wasn't a flop when it comes to Lukaku was sick. But when you talk about top strikers who are just a little bit off the bar, Lukaku is the best of them who are a little bit off the bar. Ivan Toney is nowhere near Lukaku's levels for me. And everyone's talking about him like he's this 30, like he's an amazing player. For me, he's a good striker. I'm not knocking him at all. But when you look at players, I'm looking at them. I'm looking at everything in their game. I'm looking at, okay, when do you score a high difficulty goal? Not really. I look at all your goals and they're all strikers' goals. You score a lot of penalties as well. When you really look at it, I'm not really sold on the fact that he's going to do the job for United. Like, for a Villa, for a team, in and around them mid areas, no problem. But it's a different kettle of fish, Scarf. When you're playing it against the Man Cities, you're playing the Champions League, and you need to score a goal out of nothing, I don't see it being Ivan Toney being the answer. I'm sorry.
No. But to be fair, Dave, the striker market these days, it's so light. This is what we're talking about. Like, because Højlund wouldn't even be on the radar for me personally, but there's nothing out there. Unless you're going to spend 115 mil on Osimhen, unless you're going to go all out and spend 100 mil on Harry Kane, but we can't. There's no one out there, man. So we've got to take a gamble on someone, be it an Ollie Watkins, be it a João Felix, be it Højlund or Moani. Like we've got to take a gamble on someone and hope they work. Yeah. Quick question: talking to Lukaku, would you take him back on loan for a season? Just until we, because I saw people on Twitter like, do you know what? Just for a season, let's take him back for a season.
No, because this is it though. Look, the reason why we went for not the reason why we went for Lukaku, but this is what we've been doing for the amount of years we've been doing. We've been getting players who are blunt at the sharp end. They're not sharp. And when I'm taking the mick here, it sounds like I'm taking the mick out of Lukaku here, but he ain't Van Persie. He ain't Aguero. He ain't Van Nistelrooy. He ain't the big boys, the Rooneys. Them guys score goals. You don't real, like you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, and you see back in the day Man United, and you go, oh my days, what a goal that was! What a passing move that was, and a finish like that at the end. You don't see that often now. Only time when we saw it, for me, I got out of my seat a lot of times when Greenwood was scoring some of them kind of goals that he was scoring. I was like, oh my flipping days,
Yeah.
this guy,
And
bang, bang,
Zlatan as
boom,
well. That's the other one, man. Zlatan. That's the only other one we've had recently. Like he
Zlatan,
just
yeah.
got. Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
top forward who is
yeah.
finishes dinner whenever, however you give it him, and that's what we need. We can't get these players who are just a bit off being the top. We need the top to be competing again. Well, I'm not here to be second and third. I'm here to try and win the league. So I want a Harry Kane. I want a player of them kind of levels. And like I say, at the same time, I'm mentioning João Felix. I know it sounds like it's a contradiction, but I see the technical levels in João Felix that he is capable of doing that stuff. I don't see them kind of goals in the other players. I don't see it often enough. Maybe one in his whole career is a great goal. But it's just you need to see more of them type of goals, and you just don't. You just don't.
And that's the other thing. The more I thought about it with João Felix, I've got to get my brain off João Felix coming in as an out and out striker. If we did get João Felix isn't coming in as our number one goal scorer. It would be Rashford and Anthony that would be expected to be bagging the 25, 30s a season, with João Felix hitting 15 with 15 assists. You know what I mean? 30 goal contributions a season sort of thing. And maybe he will grow into the couple of seasons down the line, because his finish was against us, that lovely finish that he hit bottom corner. Like that was a lovely finish.
Last year,
was it both
pre-season and against Chelsea? For Chelsea, both great goals, amazing goals. I was like, wow, another great goal. Bang!
But he's not a fox in the box, and at the moment, he isn't a 30-goal season striker. You know, what I mean? So you just have to change the game.
Get more than Anthony. He'll get more than Anthony, Will. That's for sure. I don't see Anthony getting that many goals.
Anthony finished on 12 this season, didn't he?
I didn't think 11, he got 12. Over 10.
Yeah, he definitely hit double figures, Anthony. I'm sure he did. Hold on, let me have a quick check. I thought
he got like 9. I thought in all comps. 9.
In all comps, I thought he. I mean,
just have a check. Have a check on that. But I thought
goodness, do you know what? He only scored 4 league goals, Anthony.
I'm telling you, mate. He's not going to get you that many goals.
Oh, mate, I was well wrong. He scored 8. He scored 8 all season. Ouch.
Exactly. I was trying to tell you that. Yeah. He's a hit and miss player. He's a hit and miss, and he needs to really improve on his consistency for me to think that we can rely on him. That's why I ain't even looking at him as, in my eyes, I ain't looking at him as a first choice right-sided player. But I think obviously he's gonna be. But I'm hoping that Ahmad pushes through and gets his chance, because he'll be better than both of him and Sancho. He's got more in his locker than him and Sancho. For sure.
That's the only other thought I had about the up front, Nath, is, as I always said to you, is obviously we've still got Martial. You reintegrate Greenwood into the team, but you play Rashford through the middle this season, because we've got Sancho, Anthony, Ahmad, Palestri. You know what I mean? We've got wingers. You keep Elanga as a backup. I know he ain't great, but it's still squad player. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've got enough wingers where Rashford can be played through the centre, and then obviously Greenwood and Martial can both play on the wing as well. So I think we'll have a clearer picture when we know what's happening with Mason Greenwood. Like, then you've got a clearer picture of what's going down then. Because obviously, if we reintegrate him into the team this year, that striker, if he's as good as he was 2 years ago, that striker question goes out the window. We can spend our money elsewhere, because he is as much as I dislike him. He is a 25-goal season player all day. Like, all day. Yeah. If he's playing well, he's a 25 season. So, yeah, we've got to sell first, though, man. That's what I need to see. Yeah. I'm hearing Chelsea are looking at Maguire for 40 mil. Oh my God! I would rip Todd Bowley's arms out of his sockets for Chelsea to take Harry Maguire for 40 mil off of us. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like, Tellez on his way to Saudi Arabia. So if it's 40 mil, 15 for Tellez, 55 mil, 10 for Bailly, 65 mil, 20 for Henderson, 85 mil. It does actually rack up. Fred, another 15, 20 mil, I reckon, 25. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're all little, but still, we can get rid of some of these. I don't mean get rid, that's the wrong way to say it, but you know where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? Actually, move them. Move them on. We might be looking at a bit more, because obviously we want that Amrabat as well, the defensive.
You know what? That actually brings us quickly on to that case. It's funny because I was watching. I said I knew he had to come out. Harry Maguire talking about getting stripped of his captaincy, and basically it was a good move that he made to come out before it came out and actually say his part on it. But the main thing is everybody's looking at him and going, why are you not just like ready to move now? Like, why are you sitting here just trying to stick around? Like,
Money.
yeah, exactly what we said in the group. We said you cannot. Yeah, like if I was him in nosebleed territory, getting paid way over what I'm supposed to be getting paid, I ain't going nowhere. I'm getting paid fully out, or I'm just staying there because I know I might get 1 or 2 Champions League games where if I move, I'm never going Champions League again, unless it's a Champions League team, which I don't expect it to be. So
Chelsea were back in the Champions League next year, mate. I know they're not in it this
Chelsea
season.
Him. If Chelsea get him,
Chelsea look like, because Wesley Fofana's gone down for the season. He's had an ACL. Chelsea are desperate for a centre back. Yeah, mate. And if they wanted, that's my only hope. West Ham want him on loan, but I can't have a loan. I think Curler said that, didn't he? Like, if we get rid of players, it has to be for sale now. We can't get loaning players out, losing them on a free. That's just ridiculous. We need some. And I'll tell you what, if we make back half of our investment on Harry Maguire, I'm well happy, mate. Like happy.
Yeah, let's try and play hardball with this one and get a little bit more than with. Like if we get like 20 mil, that's a little bit more than I expect. It'll be all right.
No, Chelsea are touted. It's Chelsea who are saying 40 mil. They're saying 40 mil for him, mate.
Tremendous. That'll be at least like 10 mil more than his worth.
Yeah, 100%, I think. And the bottom line is, like someone said to me, what if he does well for Chelsea? I don't care because he doesn't do well for Man United. Like I can't hold. Yeah, I just don't care anymore. But
he'll never do well for Chelsea.
You never know.
Champions League, he can't do well for that kind of team. We all seen he's not ready for that kind of level. He needs to play in the mid-table team where no one gets upset when he makes these mistakes, and obviously, and that's it. And he's sorted. He'll probably still stay in the England squad if that happens. But he's currently above his station. That's all it is. Yeah. Sometimes that happens. You get bought above your station, and then you have to go back down. And he's been in that. He was lucky enough, fortunate enough to get such a big deal that he's in the driving seat. And that's the main thing about it. There's nothing you can do.
I'm surprised with the European Championship on the horizon. Like this, let's face it. He must know that Ten Hag don't want him. He's had his captaincy stripped off of him. He's 5th choice centre back, possibly 6th choice behind Casemiro and Luke Shaw. You know what I mean? Like short of the gaffer bringing him in and being like, mate, get out, leave. Yeah. Like I don't want you. He must know that. Like so. Yeah, it can only be the money for me. And I'm surprised because I would have thought that. And this is the problem you get to with players having secured England spots because he's got nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? Like that is the problem. He's got nothing to worry about. He don't need to perform for Man United because he's got his England spot. But I can't believe if he does stay and doesn't play. Like I mean, what did he play last season? 20 games for Man United? Do you reckon? All in all, 25.
I remember them mentioning. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it definitely
not
wasn't
a lot. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Not a lot. So you like. Surely he wants to move on, get them games under his belt. You know what I mean? Like, why you wouldn't, I don't know. But anyway, we've dug Harry Maguire out so much. You know what I mean? He certainly will never go down as a Man United legend. That much is for sure. Yeah, 16 league games he played last year. I can still see you, mate. You still there?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, 16 league games. How many of them were coming off as a sub? Because you think about it, he was coming on for 5 minutes at the end to Shurok games, weren't he? So he probably played. He started 10 games last year. So, yeah, anyway, hopefully Chelsea come in, can't be alone. Hopefully we can get rid of some of this dead wood and then really make a splash in the transfer market. Do you know much about this Amrabat, the defensive midfielder for backup as Casemiro, the Fiorentina fella?
I can tell you, I was speaking to my friend during the World Cup, and he was saying he was talking about the Moroccan player. Because I was saying, who do you think was player of the tournament? And I was saying, like, certain other players, I can't remember at this moment, like maybe Mbappe, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then he was like, listen, a player in Morocco. And I was like, which player? What's his name? And he's like, you tell me which player when you see the team. So I was looking at him thinking, who? And he's like, I think he said Amrabat. Or there was another midfielder who, was it Amrabat who everyone was going to be after? or was
Yeah,
it a different midfield?
No, Amrabat was the one. Amrabat was one. He had a magnificent World Cup. Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone was talking about getting him before his price goes up too much. And he was basically saying, yeah, they don't realize like that Moroccan team, they were on fire, and it was more because of Amrabat doing what he was doing. Or and then maybe it was his other teammate. I'm not sure if there's someone else in there in the midfield that was really good. But basically, I was messaging my friend. He ain't come back to me yet. But I said, was it Amrabat that you was talking about when we were talking before? Because I looked at his highlights. I've seen what he's about. And he's press resistant. He likes to keep the ball. He's similar to a Casemiro, really, but a little bit younger. So it'd be great to have him in as an understudy to Casemiro. Let's say he got this is exactly what we need, because we don't want to get Casemiro suspended and then not have anyone that can come in. And then, remember when we played Leeds and we played these teams and we come down to their level. The minute we come down to their level because Casemiro's not playing, that's not good. And then also, we can't have a drop off when Martinez is not playing. So we fixed that Martinez problem with the obviously with if Evans comes in, we've got another able defender, Lindelof and him, two good defenders. And then if you got Amrabat in there, you've got a squad where if you get injuries, you're still set. Whereas last year we got injuries and we weren't set, and we still ended up
bad. Yeah,
so, yeah,
the injuries cost us bad, man. The other rumour going about is Leon Goretzka, mate, the German international. 34 mil. 34 mil apparently Bayern want for him. So
that's a good price. And I'm sure he's not too old, is he? Is he 27?
No, 28. Yeah, 27, 28. Can't be much older than that, surely.
I know Alex loves Leon Goretzka. Alex really loves Leon Goretzka. So that's one. But yeah, he obviously is established. I think it's German midfield. Established player in there, and I'm not sure exactly what he does best. I haven't watched him enough to go, you know what, he's super at that, he's not so good at that, or he's better in this position. I don't really know, but what I do know, he's established and he's playing for Bayern, and he's a first team player. It's not like he's a bench player like Sabitzer was. This guy, I don't know where he would fit. Where would he fit?
This is the
ahead
problem.
Of who we've got.
No, this is what I said on the transfer. This is exactly on the transfer exchange show. The problem with buying him is he ain't replacing the three that we've got in there at the moment. He ain't because he can play DM, CM, and AM, but he ain't replacing Casemiro. He ain't replacing Mount, and he ain't replacing Fernandes. So it is that he is the first like we're rotating now. But the best way I can describe him is, I forget who said it, but someone said if you compare him to German legends, he's got the style and flair of a Michael Ballack, but with the grittiness of a Lothar Matthäus. And that's the way he's described to me. Obviously, he isn't as good as it, because Michael Ballack and Lothar Matthäus are two of the greatest players of all time, you know what I mean? But still, that's the style of player he is. Rough and tumble, but still with quite classy feet, you know what I mean? So I'd get it for 34 mil. I'd just get him, promise him the world. Yeah, you're starting every game, mate. Just bring him in, you know what I mean?
yeah. You know what? It would be great to have a player of that ilk in the squad. Like whether you're starting or not starting, to have a player of that level is great, because that's what every team's doing now. Like the top of the top teams, they've got squads where they're all first team players. Like we need to continue. You need to go down that route. Otherwise, we're going to be behind them. We're already behind. But these little additions, I said to my friend yesterday, I said, Onana, at least what that does is it brings us in line with their defensive kind of football now. We can actually now play football. You try and press us, we'll keep the ball. We got no issues now with trusting the keeper to find a player, trusting them to bring up the strikers onto us to then dink it over to certain players. We've got that in the locker now. Like you're gonna see, man, it's gonna be tremendous, that side of it. And we've improved our midfield in terms of Mount being able to get goals. So it's like throughout them three, they're all gonna get more than 5 goals, I would say. Minimum 5 goals, and then plus. I see Bruno getting 10 to 15 again, maybe even 20 if everything comes and he doesn't need to play out of position too often. If Mount obviously is on it, I can see him getting 8 to 10 goals. So that would be lovely. Rashford getting his 20 to 30. If he can get between that and that, we'll be happy. And then we just get. I don't think Anthony gets more than. I think he's going to lose his position this year. I don't think he's got enough in the locker to be consistent what we want for him on the right. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I want him to do well. I do like what he looks like and what he threatens to be, but it's just I'm seeing too much breakdown too often at the moment for me to lay my hat on him and go, yeah, he'll do it this year. I don't see him getting 15, 20. I don't see him getting over 10 goals this year. So I do hope that someone like Ahmad is the one that breaks through, or Sancho decides to become the real Sancho on the right side. If he plays left, I don't give him much chance. I think he's gonna go next year.
No, yeah, and I do think we're going to see a lot of. I do think we're going to see a lot more youth players. Just from the friendly against Leeds, I know it's friendly, but Hannibal looks very good, very, very good. Charlie Savage looked decent. That Kobe Mano looked good, but he's very young, so I don't expect to see him starting to getting too many games because he's like 17. That kid, the French kid that scored, I've never even heard of him before. Imran or whatever. Did you see the goal? Lovely goal, mate.
I saw the finish, in the end.
Yeah. Okay, lovely finish.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you then. Which of those do you think we'll see a lot of this season?
It all depends on who we sign. I actually think it'll be Charlie Savage because of him being if we don't get a cover for Casemiro, that's the natural one to cover that position. You know, I mean, hard tackling centre midfielder. If we get everyone that we want, I reckon it will be more the case that you'll see. If we don't buy a striker, it'll be more the case you see Hugo getting played a lot more. So that's where I mean, I can see Ten Hag supplementing his team with youth players for the positions we don't get, if you know what I mean. Maybe Alvaro Fernandez, the left back, fullback, he was excellent. Maybe Mark Gerardo, the centre back, if we don't do you see what I'm saying? But for me, the standouts are Charlie Savage, Hannibal, and just off that one game, the French kid, because he looked like he could be a prospect. These are all 20, 21 years old as well. It's not like we're talking about 17-year-olds here, you know what I mean? Like 2021, this is your last season. For me, if you're 2021 and you still haven't broken through at Man United, you've got to be thinking that this is my last season. I'm going to be going after this. You know, you're not getting picked at 23. Look at Conor Gallagher. Was he 24 now? Still not really playing for Chelsea week in, week out.
Yeah,
you're not getting it. So
for me, maybe that Fernandez will be the one.
He looked good. Alvaro Fernandez looked good. He had a great loan spell at Preston as well, man. A great loan spell. So and Ahmed, obviously Ahmed. We need to keep Ahmed. I don't care. I want to see him play for Man United. We paid a lot of money for this kid. 35 mil, I think it was. You know what I mean? So
you got the car park guys and try and charge.
This is the end of the show, people. We'll.
I'm gonna get it in a minute. So,
the last one before you go in, mate, is what I'll ask you. This is: do you think even with Johnny Evans in the team, do you think we need another centre back this season?
No, I don't think so. To be fair, I think we're either going to get him or I think we're going to be sorted. So I think we're going to be all right.
You never know. Bailly might last all season, mate. You never know.
I'm getting one in a minute before I leave. Where are you leaving? I'm going to get out of the car in a minute. I'm going somewhere. I'm just going to pay over there. Is that the machine? Yeah, I'm about to pay in a minute. Yeah, go on.
I forget where I was, mate. I was too involved in what's going down with you then, mate. I think we'll see some youth players come in. I don't think we need a centre back per se, but I don't know. If we keep buying, maybe, but then Luke Shaw can play it. We need reinforcements. That's my point, Nate. We need more bodies in this squad still.
Yeah,
so we need to spend wisely.
Look, you've got Varane, you've got Martinez, you've got Lindelof, and you've got Evans, and then you've got Shaw who can also go in there if need be. You've got basically 3 centre backs who can fit in there. I don't think you've got a problem needing to buy another one because it'll need to be a good enough player to be able to handle that. That means he's not really going to play much. I don't see that happening. I think next year we probably want to replace Varane. He might get too old and get too injured. So we might need to go and get your Kim Min-jae who we were trying to get. That was probably going to be the one that you got to get now and then kind of integrate him for next year. But if there's no one of that ilk, again, you can't go and just get a defender. I think we need to really play our cards right, find us a young defender like the Lavia maybe, who's at Southampton.
He's a DM midfielder, isn't he, really? But I know you're saying that sort of.
I thought he played at the back when he's playing. But anyway, so that's the kind of thing there. But yeah, out of those young boys anyway, that's the main thing I was going to say is, I'm not sure. I haven't seen that game, last game, but even last year when we saw them players coming through last year doing well, I thought they might get more minutes, but they didn't. And I'm just thinking, maybe you're going to see Fernandez because he went out on loan. And maybe you're going to see Ahmad because he went out on loan and he knows he can trust those two a bit more because they've gone and done it now. And the next step, natural progression is to be part of the first team. So I see Fernandez and Ahmad being the two most likely to get into this side. I think everyone else still got a bit more work to do, to be honest.
Yeah. I do think that I know exactly what you're saying, but I do think that Hannibal and Savage in particular, they need to be given their chance to prove whether they're good enough or not. Because like what you're saying, I can't really say I haven't seen enough of them. Yeah. But I do think those two needs to be given their chance, man, this season. And Ahmed, definitely Ahmed.
Did well enough at Birmingham then? Did he do well enough at Birmingham?
He done all right from what I understand. He had a reasonable one, but I think Hannibal's that player that you have on your bench. He's a Palestri more. You know what I mean? You bring him on for 10 minutes at the end of games here and there, and he's got a bit of skill about his feet and everything. So he's all right. Savage is the one for me. Charlie Savage, because he's no nonsense. He's another McTominay, but it's just good to have that player in the squad. I'm not saying he's going to be a world beater or anything. It's just that it's good to have that player in the squad. But I agree with you. Fernandez and Ahmed, bruv, and maybe a bit of Palestri as well. They're the three that are going to... Oh, and of course, Garnacho. You know what I mean? He's like... I want to see... No, but what I mean is... I want to see Garnacho become a first-team week-in, week-out player. You know what I mean? Week-in, week-out he plays. Yeah, because he's there, mate. He's there. So
yeah, he's there. Yeah. He's there. He'll do a job on the left for us all day long. All day long. So the game's obviously in a couple hours. Man United versus Lyon. I'm here. I'm parked in Manchester. I'm about to go Stretford Paddock right now. Get on the watch along. I'll be on the following 5 watch alongs for the American tour at some mad hours of the day. So you probably won't be watching me live. But I'll be there doing that.
Usually I'd be like, I'll watch that 3 o'clock in the morning for a friendly. Nah, mate. No, sorry, Dave. Sorry, mate.
Madness. Mad hours. But yeah. Let's get this.
We've got Real Madrid, haven't we? So I might get up for the Real Madrid one. Yeah,
Real Madrid
I might get up for the Real Madrid.
And that's on a Saturday, I think. The Friday night, Saturday morning kind of thing. I think 1 a.m. So that's not too bad. It's not too bad. I definitely want to watch that one. That's the Saturday one, because we play Friday Wrexham, then Saturday. So yeah, we got the 2 games and we're going to mix up the squad. It's probably going to be a youth team squad in the Wrexham, and then the next one will be the game. So yeah, we'll see. But that's all the time we've got, folks. It's been a little while, but we'll probably be on again very soon because there's another move happening. So yeah, Garf, thanks a lot for being on the show.
Pleasure as always, mate.
You're gonna do the ending because I'm on my phone right now, so you know what to do. You know what to do.
All right, everyone. Pleasure to see you all here. Like and subscribe, obviously. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Give it a share as well. Just click the link. You know what I mean? You don't even have to share it with anyone. But it's been a pleasure, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next Dukes United show. If I